If it was wrong.
Please. Okay, okay. But we were talking about the moral grounds, first of all, because you and I can both agree that there are immoral laws, right? They can legally go in here. That's the only thing that keeps us, we can't move beyond the sidewalk, for example, because we are legally restrained to be able to go up on this property, for example. So we understand that there's legalities in question here. Nobody is arguing whether or not it is the law for them to be able to come in here or not. What we're saying is it is an immoral law. And for example, if you read the book, The Supremacy of the Law by former Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, who voted continually in favor of abortion, even she said, these things must be disputed among the people because we are fallible. And she said, we out here are doing the right thing by challenging the decisions that they make. So let's go back to square one. We agreed that 5 months, morally, you and I agree that 5 months, no questions asked, that's ridiculous. So where do you personally draw the line that suddenly at 4 months they can? Okay, now, where do you make the distinction? Okay, now my question is, where do you make the distinction between 4 months and 5 months? What makes you able to draw the line in the sand there, but not at 5 months? Okay, too far along in what regard? Now it's interesting that you just said the baby is formed enough so it knows what's happening. So you yourself, we understand that it's a common language to understand that this is a baby. You and I were raised that way. This is a language that is common amongst us. But the first thing then, if we're going to talk about trying to understand the moral behavior of what's happening in our society, then the first thing is when they try to change the language. Remember George Orwell, 1984. We all had to read it in school. They talked about the polis speak. That people make up this language to try to make lies sound like the truth. So whereas out of your own mouth you say, the baby is just too far formed along, they will say, oh, it's not a baby. It's not even a human. So already the difference between us... Good.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so if we agree, and I'm glad we do, and thank you, by the way, for engaging with me. We just want to be able to reason with people. So wherein lies the distinction? Because I've had to work through this myself. I used to be pro-abortion. I'm a pretty well-read guy, and I thought, it's a no-brainer. It's a woman's choice. And then I realized something. My name's David, by the way. And I realized something along the way. And that is this. For somebody who prided himself in being pretty smart, I used to teach in university in France. I used to teach judges and lawyers and international researchers. And I prided myself in my ability to understand things. And then I realized something. I had come to a decision about abortion that I had not personally studied. I just assumed it to be true. And I warned you, when I took time to understand what was indeed happening in the womb, it was inevitable that I would come to the conclusion which conversation I pray will lead you toward now, and that is to say, if I have to draw the line, for example, at 2 weeks before birth, you can't just kill a baby 2 weeks before it's born. That's ludicrous. And yet, these people who are defending your supposed right, in whose camp you sit right now, which means that you support the same direction of the same ideology, are supporting that the same ideology that allows you to come here today is the ideology that goes on a trajectory leading to that very same scenario I've painted to you, and that is this. It is also okay to kill a baby 2 weeks before it's born. So we come back to our original position. If the original position is you and I agree that 5 months is too far, and let me add, there's 2 abortionists that come here. The one that normally comes 6 days a week, his name is Romani. When he goes out on a break, The fellow who comes in his place is Newton. He's in his 70s, and this is a retirement position for him. He has confided in one of the people here and saying, look, please give me a break because I get a, what was the word? I get a
gag reflex.
Gag reflex when I do the 5-month babies. I can't do them. So even one of the abortionists here won't do the 5-month or the 4-month children because he gets a gag reflex. And so you and I are in agreement. 5 months is too far, and yet that's the camp you're sitting in. So let me ask you, where are you drawing the line now that distinguishes between allowing it for 4 months and not allowing it for 5? By what reasoning?
Mine's darker than they're both wanting me. Yeah. My dad did. My mom didn't have that. We got most of it.
You don't think it knows what's happening? So we have to be knowledgeable of our situation in order to make it unjust? So if you were sleeping and you didn't know that somebody came to you and was putting a bullet in your head, then that doesn't make it murder because you didn't know it was happening? What's that?
It makes it murder still.
Okay, but I just gave what I believe is a 1-to-1 ratio here. You just said if it doesn't know that it's happening, and yet I said, well, if you're asleep and somebody puts a bullet in your head and you don't know what's happening, does that now make it right? And you